Okay, hey everybody. Got another card today. Poison Ivy's up. So, I appreciate you guys coming on and hanging out with me and all that. And we're going to go from there. I'm going to be kicking this card out. And this is going to be a classic style. I'm not really going with the new or the new 52 version or the Arkham style. I know a lot of people ask me about that, and please do the Arkham style. Sorry, I'm going more with a classic look. I hope you dig this one. It's going to be fun, but I think everybody's going to like it. We're going to get right into this thing here. Making some adjustments. So, anyway. So, normally I would start in with more of the more prominent details, but the way her hair works, I like to do it like it's Ivy in itself. You know, I do it like it's a vine work, and I do the curls and the spirals and things like that. It makes it pop a little more. So, I see Tom's joined us. Hey, man. Just to be clear, he's working on head sketches. So, he's doing a lot of practice work. Keeping it very clean, very simple. Let me move this just a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more of it. There you go. So, Now, if I was going to do this for pages, I would definitely refine that nose a little more and tweak it down, soften it up quite a bit more. It's just because this is a sketch card, I'm trying to keep it as simple and productive as possible. But yeah, I would normally refine these a lot more than this. Oops. And as many of you guys know, I'm horribly rough on these leads. I don't want my 2mm. Oh, cool. I've got the 3 over here today. This is a .3. These pencils are intense, man. I use the .3 Pentel, the .5, the .7, the .9. These are about, I don't know, $15, $20 a piece. But they're all metal throughout. There's no plastic bits in there that jam or whatever. I really, really enjoy them. Oh, clearly, Nick, Medusa is going to be... You can't look at her to confront her directly, so yeah, Medusa of the Titans is going to be way more dangerous, character-wise. So, you keep asking me these versus questions, man. And yes, I realize my eyebrows are a little thick on these, but this is the way that I prefer to do them. So, just bear with me here. They won't get Groucho Marx style or anything like that. And if you don't know who Groucho Marx is, I'm very sorry. You'll have to Google him. I'm not going to start on that Corset yet. I'm going to save that. When you're doing hair like this, you have to be careful to make sure you know where the ringlets go, because if you start doing odd stuff with it just to place it, it'll look weird and it'll go bad on you real quick, and you'll know it if it does, because it won't look graceful and smooth. It'll just start dancing across the screen and mess with you. It'll get weird real quick and you'll just be like, well, that's jacked up, and you'll have to fix it. So make sure that you know where the patterns go, because see, you can follow that one vein of hair all the way through, and like this one right here, I know this comes back over here behind this chunk. So what you do is you take this block right here and wrap it around, and then you go through here and you have this feathering thing that comes through the middle right here, and it just breaks off nice and all the way down. So that happens, man. There are a lot of characters that did that to me when I was younger. In the original... Oh, I didn't want to do that. Wasn't paying attention. In the original Clash of the Titans, Medusa bothered me. That stop motion stuff they did, it really bugged me. It was a great look for the time. It just, that Medusa creeped me out to no end. But I've always found this character in Poison Ivy to be very smooth and just great to look at. I mean, she's got stuff going on that a lot of characters just don't. And the funny thing is, this character wasn't supposed to be a seductress at all. She was supposed to be more like DC's version of Medusa when she started. The reason they made her more seductive is because of the fact that she was predictable and more like the original Kingpin for Marvel before Frank Miller and those guys got a hold of him and turned him into, you know, something else. They evolved the character, and not just being a fat guy, you know, or a super muscle guy. He was actually a girth character which had muscle and strength and stepped up and wasn't the second-hand villain that everybody thought he was. She had to do that incarnation thing as well, to where she had to step up, reincarnation more or less, had to step up as well and come out to where she could be something that was an opposable force against Batman, because he would just pick her off for the longest time in there. So I was glad to see when she came back out that she leaned that direction. And there's a lot of people that really hesitate to get involved with this character. And if I was working at DC, man, I would be all over this one. Because of that fact right there. She is so unique and underutilized. It's like Puma for Spider-Man right before Civil War, where they made the Black Cat fall in love with him because they worked together in a couple of books, and they had a little romance thing going on there. I thought that was pretty neat. But we've gotten to see a lot more of this character over the last couple of decades. So she's becoming pretty hot. A hot commodity. And she's got some kind of buddy girl thing going on with Harley Quinn as well. So people really dig her because of that. So, I've got her going on here. I'm gonna give me just a second to adjust my screen here so things don't freak out on me. Stuff's beeping at me. Stop beeping at me! So, I'm gonna get into this corset. Put in my little guidelines here. Let you guys see how I do this on the fly. Pretty cool. Alright. Gonna black that out. Right there. For the old rib cage. Switch pencils again so I can get the detail in there. Alright. So, when I showed this morning, I had a couple people come on and they were complaining, you know, her boobs are too round, as, pardon the language for anybody that gets offended by that, her breasts were too round and, you know, out of form of natural curves. But the thing is, you gotta remember, this character wears a hard corset. So we've got to go with the shape of what would be there. There's a little bit of a boost. I'm not going to go too detailed into that because I want to get into the actual drawing here, but it's not that kind of a show, man. So I just wanted to explain that away a little bit, though, because of the fact that the corset comes in and forces the shape of things to change. So got to reflect that a little bit. As you guys can see, those are coming off really well, really quick. Just kind of layering things on there, not getting too crazy with it in the shapes and the leaf details. I like to use a simple method of drawing leaves for that. So I use a triangular ivy leaf and just kind of crop it in that way, whichever way it may go, so that it covers without cluttering or looking weird, and looks like you stacked the leaves on there. I know a lot of people get real intricate with these and make them really delicate, like heart-shaped ivies and things like that. And I've even seen guys go to the extreme of drawing, the breast form without, everything being covered. They simulate it being not there. And that's just not cool with me. It looks weird. Not that I have a preference or a problem against it or anything. It's just not my style. I would prefer to keep it to where all ages are involved and can enjoy this stuff. Not unlike my podcast where I have a lot of young listeners. I keep it very clean, very simple, and hopefully it doesn't go too awry. And my marketing stuff definitely doesn't go that way at all. It doesn't allow for it. So I keep everything simple and clean. And just for anybody watching that does get a little confused with what I'm doing here, I am not just scribbling patterns in. There is a technique to this. You have to be sure to think about it as where would a leaf lay naturally, and if you can figure that out, you're good to go. Then come in and darken it up just a little bit on some of these to separate them out, to make them look like they're laying on a corset. So it's starting to come off pretty quick. Again, I'm keeping her very simple, very clean. So I don't want to age her up or mess her up in that way. Now what I've got going on back here is a little bit of what I call Tim Burton style Ivy. Which I think if Tim Burton got his hands on Poison Ivy for a live action Poison Ivy movie, I think it would be phenomenal. Because of the fact of, you know, the whimsy and the mystique that's behind her. It's just amazing. But her being a villain, that it makes it kind of hard to do that. And her involvement, that character's involvement in that that last Batman movie, the Batman and Robin, that was a little rough. I mean, Uma Thurman was great, but it definitely wasn't the Poison Ivy that I knew from the comics. It was almost like an homage to the old 60s show. Which I understand. I have an affection for that one too. It's a great show, but I understand that it was a 60s spoof as well, not serious. So pretty cool. I think we got her covered. So, I think we got her going all right. Since she's an open redhead, I'm going to leave this open and I'll tone all that out when I color it. And I think we've pretty much got this one done, folks. I'm going to flesh this vine out just a little bit for the little plant monster here. and I think that's about got it. As always, thanks for watching, and more to come. So we will catch you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with me.